Hi guys, it's me, World of Wrestling. I'm here today to discuss about AEW Dynamite July 10th, 2024 review. Um, Dynamite was actually a fairly good show. I actually enjoyed the show. It was fun. The opener of the show was awesome with Adam Page and Bryan Danielson. Very good matchup between these two for the Owen Hart Cup Finals. I really was a bit kind of hoping Paige was going to win this, but we are not going to get that. Paige ends up losing this match, and Bryan Danielson is going on to face Swerve Strickland for the AEW World Title at All In. Swerve Strickland's winning that match without a shadow of a doubt. I don't think anybody is going to deny Swerve Strickland of this victory. I think Swerve Strickland's getting the W here. And I don't think Bryan Danielson's got a shot in hell in winning. I think this is just his last hurrah. It's giving him his opportunity to headline a major event in front of a very large crowd for a one-on-one match for the world title, and I think that's where this is going to lead. Will Ospreay also kickstarted the show actually before that match and did a promo. He thinks that MJF's a real fucking coward, and he was told by a lot of people that he's untrustworthy. He's not a person that you can trust or believe in. He's not a very good person, all that good stuff. And he saw with his own two eyes how that went down. He pretty much was disappointed by the whole thing and did not like what MJF did to the guy. And he thinks that MJF is very insecure based on his actions with Daniel Garcia and so forth. He also mentioned that he said, "You got a lot of balls going ahead and calling me out on Collision when you knew damn well I was at my grandmother's funeral." And so forth. And he stated a comment that MJF called him a talented hack. And he was kind of like dumbfounded by that. He thought that was a little retarded. He said, "I'm an untalented hack, huh? Okay. Well, I provide these people with great matches. They're highly entertained by my work and so forth." And he said, "How about you and I go at it here tonight, one-on-one? And what do you think about that?" MJF's music hits, but he doesn't actually come out. He's on the Titantron. And he points out that, to be standing in front of this crowd wrestling you, I'd rather wrestle you when it actually matters, kind of like when it generates money for the company and so forth. I thought he was going to challenge him at All In for the International Championship, but that was not the case. Instead, we got Will Ospreay being challenged next week on episode 250 for the International Championship. I'm a little dumbfounded by this shit. This made me scratching my head a little bit. Later on in the show, we had a fatal four-way match for a number one contenders match over the International Championship for All In. It had Pac, Kyle Fletcher, Claudio Castagnoli, and Horatio Ashi, I think is his name. He's the Bulldog Japanese wrestler. Let me double check that real quick. Give me 1 second, guys. I'll pull down here and see what the fuck it was. Give me one moment. I always forget his name, but he's this dude that it's Tamio Hirio Ashi. Yeah, and he's the Bulldog as his nickname. And Pac actually wins this matchup. And he's now going to All In to challenge for the international title. That seems to me a little bit concerning. Where does this leave MJF? What's he going to be doing at the pay-per-view? Is he really going to be having a match with Daniel Garcia? I mean, this is a little confusing for me, and I'm a bit lost on the whole situation. Swerve Strickland, he challenged Okada in a one-on-one match. It was confirmed that next week that match will be taking place, champion versus champion, no titles on the line. I mean, it's a very good match. I think it's plausible for a main event. I mean, the International Championship with Will Ospreay and MJF is going to be kickstarting the show next week. So I'd imagine Swerve and Okada are going to be ending the show. That should be a great match, but I don't think either one really should suffer a L here. So I'm not quite getting it. I think it's kind of crazy, but whatever. We also had Samoa Joe and Chris Jericho in a match. This was brutal. It was a Stampede street fight, and they basically beat the living tar out of each other. And then after that, Jericho took him to the back with Big Bill and the other doofus that's with them. And they attacked Samoa Joe, put him on a lift, and then shoved him right through a wall, and he went flying off the lift into the back part of that same room that they went through. Now, obviously, the wall was made out of paper mache, or that wouldn't have broke, but he was pretty much not answering the ref. The doctor came in, requested the match to be stopped. This is not safe for him. He was pretty much out and about and done. So that was that. So Jericho won that street fight. That was actually a good match too, to a certain extent, especially when they went backstage. Swerve was also pointing out how he was honored to have a match with Bryan Danielson. The only problem is Bryan's on the down end of his career while fucking Swerve is on reaching to the top of his career. So they're going in opposite directions. And the other major match that took place was the main event. And that was Mariah May versus Willow Nightingale. Decent match. I mean, the beginning was, I would say by the time Chris Statlander and Stokely Hathaway got involved in this, that's when the match really started to kick up for me and gain my interest. This eventually led to Myra May actually winning the match and picking up the W here. I was very surprised at the end. The end actually was the best part of the whole fucking thing. She turns on Toni Storm after Toni Storm was nothing but a mentor to her and beat the holy shit out of her. Hit her with the Owen Hart Championship right in the face, hit Luther in the face, kicked Luther in the balls, threw him off the stage through a table, and then also repeatedly kicked Toni Storm in the stomach, along with a couple of shots to the head with the championship, making her bleed even more. and then wiped her face upon Tony Storm's face so that the blood of Tony Storm is on her face. That was just plain fucking sadistic. I was very impressed. I mean, by character, it was a flip of the switch, man. I was like, what the hell? Now coming up with the explanation as to why she turned on Tony Storm needs to be a little bit creative. What is the reason for this? They really have to sit down and think about this and come up with a good explanation for Myra May to explain next week on Dynamite, because this was just out of the fucking blue. I mean, it makes sense to the extent of we wanted to go old school heel versus babyface type of deal, yada yada yada, but still, I mean, this is out of the blue. It just randomly just happened in a blink of an eye. So the fans are going to kind of need something to make sense of this as to why we're getting this happening on the show. So I don't know, man. I think that is kind of crazy, and I think it's really good for entertainment purposes. So I got to give them a lot of credit for what they did here. This was excellent shit. I actually enjoyed this. The rest of the show is pretty damn good. I really don't have a lot of complaints about it. It had a lot of good spots on it. Some of it was whatever. The match with Bryan Danielson and Hangman Page, excellent fucking match. The blood, I really wish they would tone down on the blood. They don't need it every single week. I just don't like it. It's too repetitive. You want to do it on a pay-per-view where it actually means something, okay, fine. But every single week on a regular match, I mean, that's a little different. I mean, you're making these guys bleed every fucking time they get in the ring. I feel like I'm watching ECW, not AEW. And that's kind of a problem. They're not extreme wrestling. They're supposed to be all elite wrestling, the best of the best. Not fucking backyard wrestling. I mean, shit, backyard wrestling ain't elite wrestling. I'm sorry to tell you. It's trash, basically. Extremely crappy wrestling is what it should be called, as Jerry Lawler used to call it. But yeah, this show, I actually enjoyed it. It was decent. It had some slow moments here and there, but it flowed pretty decently. And I really think that this show was a plus to me. The first time in a while for me to say something positive about this show in months. I mean, week after week, I literally had my head in my phone and all that. This episode, I did not do that. I really actually sat back and watched this show as it unfolded and paid majority of the attention to the show than my phone. And I appreciate that by AEW. That shows that they really are taking what's happening in their product very seriously. And that's a good thing. That just shows that they care and they want to improve. The problem is staying consistent with it. That's their issue. Kind of same issue I have on this channel. But they really, really do. Sometimes they really do impress me, and other times they just like fall off the rails. I don't know why. I mean, they're only really worried about Dynamite. The rest of the shows are just throwaway shows to give people something to watch. If they're not interested in WWE, they got AEW content they can watch. So if they're haters of WWE and they're into that tribalism crap, well, there you go. You got AEW to watch, and you can watch 3 shows from them. 2 2-hour shows and one 1-hour show. So there you go. You got a fucking total of 5 hours worth of wrestling to watch from one promotion. So there you go. But yeah, I think that this was a solid show. I think this was fun. It did what it needed to do, and they accomplished what they needed to accomplish. Hopefully this brings a little bit of interest to AEW's viewership, and we actually see a boost in it, an increase in it, and we get something out of it besides just a big giant fuck you. But I think that this is going to be this is definitely positive stuff here, and I think that we got something to work with. So I'm glad for AEW, and I'm glad that they managed to pull off a good show here. And let's just hope they continue to do that. But anyway, guys, that's all I have to say at this time. You know what to do. Hit the like button if you enjoyed the video. Hit the subscribe button if you're not already subscribed to the channel. And leave a comment down below. I'll definitely get back to you on that. Thank you guys very much for watching. And have a great night, guys. Bye.